Microsoft are planning to sell streaming rights of Activision games to Ubisoft. What the fudge?
So what happened is Xbox are planning, well, Microsoft are planning to like sell the cloud streaming rights to Activision and Blizzard games over to Ubisoft in a move that will give them rights to stream those games for 15 years, much longer than Call of Duty on PlayStation. And that's to tempt the CMA, because at the moment, they try to appeal on the decision, and CMA is still adamant to reject it. And that's all based on the fact that the cloud streaming rights, they cannot agree on it because it's anti-competitive. So Microsoft is intending to give the rights away to Ubisoft Plus, which means it could mean you may have to get Ubisoft Plus to stream the cloud games of Activision and Blizzard games. But it may also mean you may expect Activision and Blizzard games to appear on other console versions like PlayStation or Nintendo Switch. But you can only like cloud stream it and not like physically owning the copy. There isn't a lot of context with it. But I think Microsoft are desperately trying to get their deal through the CMA. But I think at the moment it's just like CMA has been like really difficult, and yet Microsoft are desperate to get this deal done and dusted with it. So they have all until October before they can actually close the deal up.
See, it's absolutely mad. It's crazy to think. So, does that mean that they're going to have some kind of deal with Ubisoft now? I mean, is Ubisoft Plus going to end up coming to Game Pass or something? I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it seems
it's
like
a bit
friendly together now.
It's a bit early now because the Ubisoft Plus was only been unveiled, and it's been announced as a separate service, which even if you got Game Pass Ultimate, you still have to pay extra to get Ubisoft Plus, which will work on your Xbox.
Yeah.
So, but I think it just depends whether you can still cloud stream without paying for Ubisoft Plus for the Activision Blizzard games, or you may not. But I think at the moment it's just Microsoft are trying to like make sure their deal can go through. But
it's very confusing.
Yes. However,
yes. Go on.
Also, it just mentions. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. You go ahead because it talks about Phil Spencer about the mobile market.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a sec. Yeah, all I was going to say is I stream games from the cloud quite a lot on my tablet in my office, and it's just like, so I could stream all the Game Pass games at the moment. So like Persona 5 is what I mainly stream because you don't need to worry about the like delay or latency or anything. Halo, Gears of War, all that. That's still going to stay there. But when they get Activision games onto Game Pass, which I'm assuming Call of Duty is eventually going to come to Game Pass, does that mean that's not going to be available for me to stream off my cloud, off my xCloud app, off my Game Pass app? Like, if it's on Game Pass, then surely it should be streamable to the cloud because every other Game Pass game is. So how's that going to work? Or are they literally just going to, that's it, we're done with cloud streaming, we're not even going to bother continuing it? I'm really confused at how this is going to work. I mean, is it going to be on Ubisoft Plus and Game Pass, or is it just going to be on Ubisoft Plus? Will I have to pay for Ubisoft Plus to play Call of Duty? It's very confusing. I don't know how I feel.
I got the list there, and at the moment that under the restructured transition, that's by Brad Smith, Microsoft will not be in position either to release Activision Blizzard games exclusively on its own cloud streaming service, Xbox Cloud Gaming, also known as xCloud, or to exclusively control the licensing terms of Activision Blizzard games for rival services. And it adds that... sorry?
The key word there is exclusive. Exclusively. So does that mean they can also do it on Game Pass? So does that mean that Ubisoft will have it and Xbox xCloud will have it? Or does it mean it'll only be on Ubisoft? That's the question. That's the confusing part for me. Because if it's on Ubisoft, then fair play. But I'm like...
The agreement here with Ubisoft has been structured so that Microsoft will still acquire the rights needed to honor the fully its legal obligations under its commitments to the European Commission, as well as its existing contractual obligations to other cloud game streaming providers, including Nvidia, Blizzard, Ubisoft, and Enware. Also, there's Ubisoft saying, the Ubisoft Plus lineup is expanding. We're excited to announce a new agreement that will bring Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft Plus for streaming upon completion of Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. We'll also be licensing the game to the range of cloud streaming services by the looks of it. It's just kind of a bit cut out.
Yeah. Because they do have, I can't remember what it's called now. Ubisoft does have a streaming service. I can't remember what it's called. It's not Ubisoft Plus, it's never one. Luna. I think it's Luna. I think that's an Ubisoft service as well.
Yeah.
Or you could get Ubisoft games on Luna anyway, which is interesting. It's really interesting thing to do because obviously Xbox was saying about how cloud's agreement isn't as successful as they were expecting it to be. But it does seem weird to me to get rid of their rights for 15 years. Like in 15 years' time, streaming might be a big thing. It seems like a long time to have a deal with someone else, you know? Because like YouTube wasn't really a thing 15, 16 years ago, and now like literally everyone watches YouTube like that's how we're doing this. Like, you know, it's like it's weird to me because I feel like it could become a big thing quite quickly as soon as like the internet infrastructure is there for it, and if they can figure out the latency issues. I don't know. Weird to me. It's weird. I know they're trying to get around the CMA, but surely they could. There's other ways. Surely, I don't know. Weird. And as you said before, they can't exclusively have Activision games. That doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to have Activision games on Xbox. Just means they're not exclusively going to be on Xbox, which is confusing and weird. I don't know how I feel.
I think personally that they should like try to get rid of the cloud streaming out of the UK if that's a huge deal. But I think at the moment it just seems like they would struggle to sort it out, and they would have to resort to even giving cloud usage rights to Ubisoft, the Activision Blizzard games. And the fact they're now looking to put on other cloud streaming services, which could mean rival systems may still play the games by cloud only. And I think this just I think it's just a case of Microsoft really wanting to make sure as if they can go through. But I think it's still frustrating because CMA seems to be the only market that really rejects the whole deal, which they have an extra statement with it. They said, "This is not a green light. We will carefully and objectively assess the details of a restructured deal and its impact on competition, including in light of third-party comments. Our goal has not changed. Any future decision on this new deal will ensure that the growing cloud gaming market continues to benefit from open and effective competition, driving innovation and choice." But I think to be honest, it's just like UK is just like so deluded, just like the rest of the whole authorities there, including the government.
Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Oh my god. Ugh. Pip, pip, cheerio, crumpets and mash. Oh, bangers and mash, fish and chips. Oh, we're British. We're British. We can fuck it all up. We're British, I can say that. But, you know.
But anyway, so Microsoft, the Microsoft CEO is still confident on getting the Activision Blizzard acquisition, which even though it said back in July, but I think it's just going to be a more enthusiastic push to get the CMA to improve their deal. But at the moment, it just seems like we're not going to get this through in the UK. And at the moment, I think it's just another one of those reasons that kind of makes it very embarrassing for the UK to be like really unreasonable when it comes to those things.
Yeah, definitely. It's annoying. We'll hopefully get it sorted sooner rather than later. Bloody CMA. So you also put in this news article about Phil Spencer says we need mobile games to survive, which they have mentioned this in the past, that they want to try and build a mobile marketplace with Apple and Android. It's
actually the Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella.
Oh, Satya Nadella, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, Phil Spencer's just like dealing with this whole shenanigans there, and he's working hard to make sure this deals goes through. So, but yeah, I think it's just like he's been dealing with a lot of grief to do with the whole acquisition thing, and also he's been dealing with the fallout of Redfall. So it's just only a matter of knowing if Starfield is going to turn out so good, which I'm hoping it will. I hope it will be even bigger than Skyrim, which it is in the moment, but we just hope it will turn out so well when it comes out on September the 1st.
Let's hope so. I'm so nervous about it. I'm so excited but nervous. If it sucks, I'm going to be really sad if it sucks.
They also, Phil Spencer, I was also going to need to mention that Phil Spencer says that they need the mobile market to survive, which according to this Eurogamer article, the reason we end the acquisition discussion with Activision Blizzard King is around the mobile capacity, which is something they did say for months. So they've been in the interview with Eurogamer today with Gamescom, and they're looking to go to have a mobile games acquisition, which they say is just something we don't have. So it looks like that Phil Spencer is just hoping to get this deal through and even get it confirmed so that they can rely on like a mobile platform to help build Microsoft. So, and they're also looking to launch a mobile game store as well.
Yeah. I mean, we think the mobile games are shit, right? I mean, I personally do. I think they're awful, a lot of them. But, like, I feel like our generation is like the last generation that are just purely consoles. Like, you know, I love my consoles. I love Starfield. It looks great. But, like, you see kids now, they all play games on their phones. You know, they're all playing Fortnite and, you know, Minecraft is a good one. So I can understand Microsoft wanting to get Call of Duty and Candy Crush and stuff, like Call of Duty Mobile even and Candy Crush, like big mobile franchises to keep relevant, because mobile gaming is the future, sadly, which is not what I want. I don't want it to be the future. I can't stand mobile gaming, but it sadly does seem that that's going to be the future of gaming if after, you know, in like 10, 15 years from now. So I can understand why they want to try and get into the mobile space, unfortunately, which is depressing to think, but there you go. Thanks, mobile.
There's a lot of answers he had done in the interview with Eurogamer doing Gamescom. So any kind of other plan for us will continue to be about how do we find relevance in the mobile space, and I think there are other paths to make that happen. But when we look to the universe of creators, I know most people think about Activision probably in the console PC space, but if you look from the finances, the business is actually almost the exact opposite. So any other plan would still be about that. We think that for Xbox to continue to thrive, we need to have some relevant place in the whole province.
I mean, we need mobile. They need mobile games to survive, which I get that. Unfortunately, sad times.
He added that we think that's important. Yeah, so that's something we're looking at as well. And when we look at the reason we think content is important, there is how do you attract people to your stores? If you go back to the origins of how Steam got created, that was about the place for Valve to distribute their content. Why did the players go there? Because Half-Life was awesome. And people wanted to find the expansion packs and other things, so when we look at going into another platform, hopefully that is open to other storefronts, which isn't true globally today.
Fair enough. I mean, also, there was a court case last year or the year, like recently, saying that Apple and Androids cannot be no longer, they got a monopoly over the mobile market and their own mobile services, so they have to open it up to have other app stores on there. So Microsoft seems like the only company big enough to really compete with Android and Apple when it comes to having their own app store. So it makes sense to me personally, and I'm looking forward to having Xbox on my phone, like even if it is just Candy Crush.
And there's a conclusion that positively says that Phil Spencer remains confident in the deal. He says, "We're obviously working constructively with regulators. It's my first time doing a deal with the size in the regulatory process. Maybe that's obvious now from the outside, but we remain confident in the process." So he's still hoping to get through with this whole deal and get this done last.
Hope so. Yeah. Let's get it done. 15 years with Ubisoft, getting 15-year deal for the cloud. But obviously, ABK is more about mobile gaming, which we've been saying. It's really weird to think the future of Xbox is going to be a strange one. The future of just gaming in general, to be fair, is going to be weird thinking about it. I can't even picture what it's going to be like in 15 years. Honestly, it's kind of crazy to think. Yeah. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at xmarksbox on Twitter or xmarksthebox on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.